Welcome back. I just finished watching Dragon Ball GT episode 35, and I liked it. It was, it was nice. So at the beginning of this episode, Goku goes Super Saiyan 4, and then him and Baby fight, and Goku seems to be winning until Bulma turns on these brute wave amplifiers and turns Baby into a great ape, and Baby doesn't seem to be able to control himself, and that's where the episode ends. So on the surface, pretty simple, but I think there's some interesting like characterization of Goku in this, because I'll talk about Super Saiyan 4 in a moment, but what I found interesting about this episode is that Goku seems to be just really fed up, I suppose is the word for it. Like, the way his expression is and the way his tone of voice is, it seemed to convey to me that, like, he's really angry at Baby for having done this to all his friends and family members and whatnot, and now that he has, like, the power, and he knows he has the power to actually beat Baby, he isn't gonna, like, tolerate anything, you know what I mean? And this is, like, exemplified in the scene where he goes to, like, the main tower on planet Sfuru, and he breaks in, and Bulma is about to run away, and he says, "Bulma," and Bulma's just like, "No, I hate you. I'm with Baby now. We're not even friends." And, like, you can see how angry Goku is with Baby for having done this to the people he cares about. And it's especially when he says, like, we're, like, the power, like, and Baby's fighting back against him and, like, isn't even able to, like, do anything. Like, Goku's like, there's, like, the power difference between us is too great, you can't kill me, but you've been, like I can't remember the exact line, but you've been, like, so villainous that, like, I can't let you live. So he's just gonna basically, like, he's done. He's just done with Baby at this point. And Baby's like, "Hey, I'm in the body of Vegeta," and Goku still is like, "No, it'll be fine. I'm still gonna beat you up. Vegeta'll be fine." So yeah, so I found that interesting, that aspect of, like, Goku's really, like, fed up with everything. And what's also interesting, getting a bit into Super Saiyan 4, Pan asks, "Can you transform back?" And Goku's like, "I don't know." Which seemed to indicate to me that this is a very different transformation than regular Super Saiyan, like Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. Which, by the design, you can already tell it's very different, but just, like, the way it seemed to indicate to me it's not an on-off switch sort of thing. Like, once you've transformed, you're going to be transformed for a while, you know what I mean? But I guess, like, talking bit, since, we're on the topic, I'll give my thoughts on Super Saiyan 4. I think it's a really interesting design, and I think it's a design which makes sense too, considering the direction Super Saiyan 3 was headed with, like, the crazy hair. I feel like, they looked at that and went, if we do Super Saiyan 4 continuing with this trend, like, we need to shake it up, you know what I mean? You can't just keep going in that same direction, otherwise you'll just be a mess of hair and nothing else. So I think, doing a redesign, and I think it's interesting how they really looked at, like, Saiyans, and so it's like, the, like, monkey type element, they really tied that in with the design to make it more Saiyan-like. And it's a very interesting design. It's like, because it, like, you'd expect them to I guess like it's interesting how like they kept the hair black. They chose like a very vibrant red for the fur, which was interesting. I don't really know why they chose red though. I guess they just liked the design of it. But one thing I really love about it is that it made Goku an adult again. Because, like, I think the one thing everyone agrees about Dragon Ball GT is that Goku should have stayed an adult. So I am glad that, like, even if it's only while being Super Saiyan 4, I am glad that Goku is back to being an adult, in an adult form, at least for the time being. But yeah, I think, because moving on from Super Saiyan 4, like I guess people are wondering like what do I like the design? Do I think it's better than the other Super Saiyans? Do I prefer this or do I prefer, Saiyan, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, etc., etc. And it's interesting cuz like normally in most franchises when you have like something like this and then the creator comes back and they don't really acknowledge Super Saiyan 4 anymore. Normally, like something like this would be a footnote, but I feel like calling this a footnote in Dragon Ball's history is kind of an insult because it is a very iconic design, and it's something that Toei hasn't shied away from merchandising. You still see Super Saiyan 4 in video games and stuff, so it's definitely a well-remembered design. It's a very popular design, and I can see why. It's sort of like, because obviously the original Super Saiyan design was born out of cheapness, or well, hand cramps, I should say, because back when Toriyama was doing the manga, he had only one editor, and well, not one editor, like the person who does touch ups, basically, who like Toriyama would do the drawings, and then he had the assistant. That's the word I'm looking for, an assistant who basically, does maybe detail work, does all the coloring and shading and stuff, and his assistant would always get hand cramps from having to color in Goku's hair, which is just like a solid mass of black. And so, his assistant was like, is there any way you can make Goku blonde so I don't have to color in this hair all the time? And so Toriyama came up with Super Saiyan for the sake of his assistant, and as well as to save on ink. And then it just happened to become like one of the most iconic things in all of anime and pop culture ever. Even today, the day I'm recording this is the day that Bowser's Fury got a trailer released, and everyone's going like, "Oh, Mario can go Super Saiyan now." That's the big joke as of the time I'm recording this. But so it's definitely, and so what I was saying was, and so what's interesting about this design is I feel like it's not taken from the perspective of what are we going to do if we want to keep going and evolving with Super Saiyan. I feel like this Super Saiyan design is sort of like, okay, we hear the term Super Saiyan and we know what the Saiyans are. Now, based on, what we know about the Saiyans, what do you, person at Toei who is designing stuff, what do you think a Super Saiyan would look like, ignoring the previous Super Saiyan designs, just sort of from scratch, like a fresh take on Super Saiyan? And I think that's an interesting part of the design, because it is very clearly like stepped away very much from the previous Super Saiyans. It's like fresh and unique, still unique to this day, because obviously they went in a very different direction when it came for Super's transformations. In terms of overall designs, I think like the simplicity of Super Saiyan is really hard to beat. You know what I mean? So I don't think I like it better than regular old Super Saiyan. And Super Saiyan 2 are very similar, so you know what I mean. But I do like this better than Super Saiyan 3, because Super Saiyan 3 is really weird when it comes to like the face area, because it's got like a Neanderthal forehead thing going on. So it's a very weird design decision for Super Saiyan 3. And then, do I like it better? than Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and Ultra Instinct. In terms of, because here's the thing, when we're talking about the super transformations, and I know that, Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue were introduced in Z movies technically, but I'm referring to them as the super transformations just for the sake of simplicity. Out of my favorite out of all the super transformations from a design standpoint is the Ultra Instinct Omen. Not Ultra Instinct Mastered, where he has the white hair, but just like where he has the silver eyes and the aura. I like that look a lot better than Mastered Ultra Instinct. And I think out of I know Ultra Instinct, it's debatable whether it's a transformation or a technique, but for the sake of simplicity, a lot of people consider it a transformation, so I'm going to put it in the transformations category. In terms of like comparing Super Saiyan 4 to Super Saiyan, comparing Super Saiyan 4 to Ultra Instinct Omen, it's sort of a toss-up for me, honestly. But I do think I might like Super Saiyan 4 more than Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. But it's sort of one of those things where it's like it's weird giving my thoughts on it, because I feel like if I were going in 100% blind, knowing nothing at all, then I would be that I'd be able to give my more honest thoughts and my reactions. But because I've already seen the form all the time, it's on the box of the DVDs. It's sort of hard to give like impressions on something you've always known was there. But yeah, so I'm not. I'm it's nice. I like the Super Saiyan 4 design. I guess that's what I was going with. It's very Dragon Ball GT. I suppose is one way of saying it. I couldn't imagine Akira Toriyama designing something like this. But in terms of getting away from Super Saiyan 4, I'd like to talk a bit more about where I think the show is going to go from here, because I like to do my predictions and stuff. Because we have Baby, who's going on an all-out rampage, like as a super strong great ape, totally out of control, unable to control, himself. And apparently, quite possibly, a lot stronger than Super Saiyan 4. And I'd like to point out that maybe it was yesterday, depending on how I upload these and how you watch these. But in last video, I said that Goku's going to be super strong, and he's going to be, like, just curve-stomping Baby, no problem, at the beginning of this episode. And then I said, at a certain point, Baby's gonna get the upper hand somehow, and it's gonna be the other way around, because that's what always happens at the sort of climax battles of Dragon Ball, and that's definitely what happened here. Goku was having an easy time against Baby, and then Baby once again now has sort of the upper hand, because he's lost control of his mind, but he's still stronger. Now, what I thought would happen was that Bulma would fire the waves, or amplify the waves at Baby, and Baby would be because Baby showed concern that he wouldn't be able to control himself, and I thought, well, he'll probably be able to control himself. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, because this is where I don't know how they're gonna beat Baby from here on out. I have given my predictions though. So I thought that, he'll probably be able to control himself or whatever, just guessing, but turns out so far he can't. And I'm wondering, here's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking, because last episode I was like, I'm wondering if Vegeta is going to get control of his mind back. And I realized that if Baby like, Baby has lost control of his body, he's lost control of his mind, but I'm thinking because Baby is losing control, it means that that could be a possible segue or like an opening for Vegeta to regain his consciousness. You know what I mean? Because Vegeta has experienced controlling himself as a great ape. And with Baby possibly losing control, it gives maybe Vegeta an opportunity to come in and take control back. And that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that's going to happen, basically. Because, like, I don't think they can just brute force him, beat him, you know what I mean? Unless, like, he somehow reverts back or something. But we will see. We will see. I will see. That's all I got for now. If you enjoyed this video, then, you know, feel free to check out the other Dragon Ball GT reviews that I've been doing. Going through the series episode by episode, watching it through for the very first time. And, you know, remember to stay tuned for future uploads and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and have a nice day.